My queen, my queen. Oh, she. Oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel. So strong, even in struggle. Yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama. Yeah. And Jesus too. Oh, he's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing. Humble, honest, and helpful. Educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen. She's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying. Back to work, cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall. A champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do. Yeah, the true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah, oh. Where would we be without you? Yeah, you brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, and Jesus too. Oh, she is
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and I am thoroughly thrilled and excited to be with you again today. Hopefully you're excited as well. I would love it if you would just invite some others to come in and to be a part of our conversation for today. This is going to be a good one. I was just really praying about, when you do as much content as I do, and your demographic is as specific as mine, you have to really pray about what to do next, what to actually talk about when you've talked about as much stuff as I've talked about. And today I want to deal with something that applies to people, not just women, not just men, but people. I would dare say that it probably applies to women more so than men, because women find yourselves, in most cases, in this position more so than men. And that is, I want to talk about detoxing after a toxic breakup, after you've gone through a horrific experience with a person that you thought, could be, should be, would be the one. How do you purge all of that stuff, out of your heart, out of your life, so as not to allow a person that impacted you in the past to journey into your future, and to, the Bible says, every root of bitterness springing up troubles you, and thereby many be defiled. In other words, when there's a mishap in our lives that we don't process properly, or we don't put that thing to rest in its season, that thing journeys into our future, and it continues to traumatize. It continues to impact us even in the future. And this is very true when it comes down to toxic relationships after they've ended. If a person does not have a specific and intentional approach to detoxing from all of that stuff, you can find your man from 20 years ago destroying your present relationship. And how often do I see it? Women in particularly, but not exclusively, but women quite often don't know how to receive a good man in this present era, because she never really detoxed from all of the poison from the relationship that broke her initially. And so what happened was the trauma from that relationship just compounded, because she never got over that. She made poor decisions in terms of her next relationship, thinking she could use the next man to get over the old man, and then the next man broke her and traumatized her, and the wound just got deeper, and the infection just got worse. And so now here she is, she's 4 or 5 layers deep in toxic relationships, and now she may actually have a great, healthy man, but can't receive him, can't do right by him, because she never detoxed from the original man. And I know you've seen it. I know you see it quite often. This is why I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer, which probably should have been one of my points, but I didn't make it an official point. But I'm a firm believer that you just need some time when a relationship ends. There's no way in the world you're supposed to be, breaking up with somebody this weekend and then next week you all over the social media out in the streets, hugged up with somebody else. Too fast, babe. Too fast, too fast, too fast. It's too fast to last. It's just too fast. You need to sit down. You need to settle down. And you need to go through a process to debrief, to detox, and to get all of that stuff out of your heart before you try to move on to someone else. You're not doing right by yourself, nor are you doing right by the other individual that you're pulling into your soap opera. You need time. You need space. You don't need someone new in your face. Your boy got bars here today. You need space. You don't need someone new up in your face. You need to detox. You need to be secluded. And I was having a wonderful conversation with Stephen, I forget his last name. Awesome guy. I'm on his podcast, but he was talking about how we quite often mistake solitude for seclusion. Seclusion says that I'm isolated, I'm locked away, I'm restricted, I don't have access. It's a negative connotation. While solitude says, I choose to be in this space for my own healing, for my own growth, for my own development. But because we've not done a great job of teaching the power of seclusion, and everybody views seclusion as isolation, I'm restricted, I'm punished. No, this is a privilege. This is an honor. This is what you owe yourself, that you might be able to move forward in a healthy and in a positive fashion. Because you have to what? Detox after a toxic breakup. There's a lot of stuff that was put in you that you got to find a way to get this stuff out of you. There are a lot of beliefs that you adopted along the way, beliefs about yourself, beliefs about the world, beliefs about love, beliefs about men, beliefs about women. There's a lot of stuff that you've adopted that has to be purged out of you. And so this is why you're having, okay, I got to say it. Y'all might get mad with me, but I got to say it. This is why you've had so many horrible outcomes relative to men. And then you're on your fifth situation, and now you talking about ain't no good men out here. No, you got a broke picker. Your picker broke. Your picker's malfunctioning. And you need to sit your happy self down and get your mind right so you can figure out, what's of God, what's not. You gotta detox, sweetheart. I don't care what your auntie told you about. The best way to get over one man is to get under another. That is the ignorant. That is the ignorant counsel of a broken woman that will tell you something like that. Your problem is that you got under the wrong man in the beginning. What makes you think getting under another man is going to get you beyond the damage the original man did? You don't need to get under no man. You need to get next to a man called a husband. You ain't gonna never run up on no husband as long as you keep sliding under all these men. You need to detox, sweetheart. You don't need to go to the bed. You need to go to your head. You got some stuff you got to get out of there. And I want to share with you today some things I believe are paramount. Number one, if you're going to detox from a toxic relationship. I'm looking for something, I guess you can tell. Oh, here it is. Back in focus. If you're going to detox from a toxic relationship, number one, you got to be decisive. You got to stop vacillating. You can't blow my email up talking about pastor, bishop, uncle, big bro, dad, RC, whatever you call me. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm finished. You finished? Okay, good, good. I'm glad you finished. And then, 3 days later, I look on the Instagram there, you back up under the sink. You got to stop vacillating. You got to be decisive. Don't run out there and tell nobody nothing if you know you are not really ready to be decisive. You got to stop vacillating, because as long as you're in the middle of the road, straddling the fence, your emotions say right now, I don't want him, I don't want him, I don't want him. And then tomorrow, 24 hours later, there you are back up in the bed with this man again. Come on, man. Stop wasting people's time. Stop holding people on the phone 2 hours talking about how this person did you bad and did you wrong. And you deserve better than that. And I was listening to Bishop RC say this and that and that. People don't want to hear all that. And then the next day you back there with the man. Be decisive. If you're going to be indecisive, just decide, I'm going to be indecisive and I'm going to accept the consequences. But you ain't going to never get beyond a toxic situation, just constantly vacillating. Baby, you got to shut that door and you have to lock that door. I don't care what your little body telling you. You get the little feelings and everything. I ain't gonna go too far with that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You get all these little feelings and tingling and all this kind of stuff here, and then your mind go to roaming with all that, toxic nostalgia, and all you can remember are the great days. You don't remember, all of the horrific stuff this situation brought you through. And you just constantly vacillating. You know what vacillating gets you? You know what vacillating gets you? Vacillating gets you wasted decades. You start vacillating in your 20s. You don't figure it out until you're in your mid-50s. That's what vacillating gets you. Maya Angelou said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Babe, you got to learn to believe people sooner than later. And when a person proves to you that they are no good and they're not good for you and they're toxic, the first step is to be decisive. This doesn't work for me. I deserve better than this. I'm not going to disrespect myself like this. I'm not going to allow anybody to make a fool out of me like this. And I'm pulling the trigger. I'm shutting and locking the door. I am done. Deleting you from I'm getting off all your social media. I'm blocking you on everything. I'm not even allowing you to send me an email. Come on, somebody. You have to stop. You got to be decisive and you got to stop vacillating. You are never going to make headway as long as you continue to just keep playing around. Just keep, you act like you shutting the door, but you send him a note that the window's open. And you know what you're doing when you go on their social media and you like something, you sending a note, the window open. Don't come through the door because my family and friends are watching the door, but the window open. And babe, you're going to find yourself stuck up in that situation. I promise you, if you don't get your mind right, you're going to be an old woman by the time you figure this out. You're going to be an old woman by the time you figure this out. You're going to give this person your whole life if you don't stop all this vacillating. And don't call me with that, because I get tired of talking to folk that don't want to make a decision. Can't nobody make up your mind for you. I can't make no decision for you. I can give you counsel, but I can't make no decision for you. And if you don't want to make a decision for yourself, you're just going to be good with that. Don't eat up everybody else's time with that. Don't call your mama, your friends, you're complaining about this person every other month. Please go on and do you. That's what you want to do it. But I'm here to tell you that you will never overcome this toxic situation until you make up your mind that this is over. I'm done. I'm finished. Oh, but you just don't know. It's going to hurt my heart. Babe, you got to choose your pain. You got to choose your pain. You going to either deal with the momentary pain of moving on beyond somebody that never deserved a conversation with you, or you going to deal with the lifelong pain of realizing you gave your life to somebody you should have never had a conversation with. Choose your pain. I can't choose it for you. You got to choose it for yourself. But I do know this, if you're going to detox from this toxic situation, you got to shut the door. The Bible says in James 1:8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Ain't nothing you do going to work right till you make a decision. You got to make a decision. In your own best interest, you have to make a decision. You can't let your hormones make that decision. You can't let your emotions make that decision. You got to sit down with yourself and with your God, and you have to ask yourself, now, what do I deserve? What do I want? What is this person bringing to the table? And when you realize this person brings nothing to the table, that you see, there's a lot of stuff you attracted to that you deserve better than. There's a lot of stuff you attracted to that you don't really want. You know, like I'm attracted to starch, starches like potatoes and rice. You know what I'm saying? I'm attracted to that, but that ain't really what I want, because what that does to my life, how that impairs the quality of my life is just unbelievable. So you have to move beyond the parochial mindset of just running behind what you think you want. Your flesh will always tell you want something that you don't need, or you don't even desire. When you're in your right mind, your flesh will always lead you down a self-destructive path. But you have to make a decision. And if you're going to detox from this, you got to stop vacillating. You got to shut that door. You got to stop being double-minded. Number 2, you got to parent yourself. See, because ain't nobody going to be with you late in the midnight hour, like the old preacher would say. Ain't nobody going to be there with you late in the midnight hour when your body go to talking to you and that muscle memory kick in, and you go to having all of these thoughts, and your flesh is calling for this individual, and you open that door and you let that devil back up in your life again. It's going to be harder to get him out this time than it was the first time. So now you got to what? Parent yourself. You got to talk to yourself, because you're grown. You're a grown woman. Can't nobody be at your house and prevent somebody from coming in. No, you got to parent yourself. When you become an adult, you got to parent yourself. That's why your parents, all things being equal, hopefully everybody was in place doing their job, taught you the things they taught you to set within you certain values and understanding about how life is supposed to work. That when you get on your own and out of their home, you can now what? Parent yourself. You got to remember the things your mother or your father told you, or the things they should have told you. Maybe you didn't have great parents in place, but now you're grown enough to know where they missed it. Well, why are you missing it with yourself now? Because you're an adult now. You're supposed to be parenting yourself. If you're going to detox from this toxic situation, you got to learn how to talk to yourself. You got to stop letting your emotions continue to pull you back into a situationship. Your emotions, you wishing upon a star, thinking you can change somebody. Man, that's craziness. You can't change you. How can I think I can change you when I can't even lose the weight I need to lose? Losing weight is simple. Don't eat this. Move a little more over here. Voila. Build some muscle. You lose weight. Stop eating all of this candy. Stop eating all these French fries and potato chips. Eat some vegetables. Eat some protein. Walk a little bit. Do a little strength training. And voila, you got a body like you never dreamed yet. Most of us don't have it. Why don't we have it? We can't even change ourselves. What makes you think you can change somebody else and you can't change you? You can't even change the fact that you have become slave conditioned to somebody that don't even deserve you. But yet you think you can change them. Hey, you got to parent yourself. Listen to what the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 11. See, you got to talk to yourself. See, like I'm talking to you now. You got to learn to talk to yourself like that. See, you can talk to yourself much more harshly than I'm allowed to talk to you. You ought to hear some of the conversations I have with myself. I'm like, man, what kind of ignorant foolery is this? What are you doing, man? What are you thinking about? Because my old man is there he is. He's in heaven. He ain't here to tell me now. I'm preaching better than y'all shout. I got to parent me. And when I'm coming out of a situation that has broken me from one end of my life to the other, it is my responsibility to talk to myself. Come on now. Talk to myself. 1 Corinthians 11:31 in the Amplified, it reads like this: but if we evaluated and judged ourselves honestly, recognizing our shortcomings and correcting our behavior, we would not be judged. In other words, if you deal with your own stuff internally and you parent yourself, you won't have to have all of the worldly consequences that comes along with living a life that is out of order, undisciplined, and out of balance. When you judge yourself and you discipline yourself and you chasten yourself, you avoid the chastening of the Lord. You avoid the chastening of the world. But you got to parent yourself. I need you to start talking to yourself honestly. I need you to stop making excuses for yourself and stop every time you hear somebody tell you a hard truth. Stop blaming it. Stop talking about I'm triggered. Sometimes you need to be triggered. Sometimes being triggered is what helps you to really come clear in your mind. The prodigal son in the Bible was triggered when they was trying to get him to eat what the hogs were eating. But you know what it triggered him to do? It triggered him to realize the error of his ways. And it triggered him to reverse his path, his steps, and to return to his father's house with a humble heart. You need to hear hard truth. And guess what? You need to hear it from you. You got to stop pacifying yourself because you have been your own worst enemy. You talked yourself into this situation over and over and over and over again. I can change him. I can change him. I just love him so much. And I know somewhere down on the inside, he loved me. Babe, this man don't love nobody. People that love you don't do this to you. People that love you do not do this to you. You need to parent yourself. You need to talk to yourself like your daddy would have talked to you. This is not a polite one today, I guess you can see. Number 3. You're gonna have to now, while you're doing all of this, while you're being decisive, you're shutting the door on this situation. You're parenting yourself from the inside out. You're talking to yourself. Number 3, I need you to sit in this. And I need you to reevaluate your criteria. What is your criteria for a man or for a woman for that matter? Because I see great men that just, you just want women that, yeah, I can't say what I, you just want the wrong kind of woman, man. You just want the wrong kind of woman. And you keep on choosing the same kind of woman over and over again. And they keep doing the same thing to you, setting you back financially, embarrassing you, sleeping around on you. You just keep choosing the same kind of woman. I can walk a 100% wife in front of you. You don't want her. You want to go down the street and you want the woman popping all this gum, everything just everything. Just the whole imagination is just, yeah, it's all out there. You got to reevaluate your criteria. You women, y'all's biggest problem. And I can't tell you how to be no woman. I'll tell y'all what I told the Women's Expo in Lafayette, Louisiana, which was an amazing event. Man, y'all hear about that event next year? Please go to it. It was an amazing event. But I told those women, I can't tell y'all how to be no woman. I ain't only trying to tell no woman how to be a woman. I'm 100% man. I'm not trying to tell you how to be no woman. I'm just giving you life from the perspective of a man and a father. And there are certain things that safe men who want nothing from you, nothing, that just love you and want to see you win. And see, healthy men are committed to the protection and the safety of all women. You can't, when a man loves any woman, he loves all women. A man can't really love his mama and misuse another woman. So when a man gets whole and healthy and enlightened, his mission in life is to empower women to succeed in a world that's dominated by many times true toxic masculinity. And so, that's where I'm coming. Your criteria for a man has to shift. You got to stop telling me about 6 feet tall, 6-pack, 6 figures, 666, mark of the beast, the devil. A man got to have more than 6 figures or 6-pack and be 6 feet tall. You ain't said nothing about his character. You ain't said nothing about his spirit. And you got this old shallow bubblegum popping criteria, and you trying to figure out why you keep getting the wrong end of the stick. If you're going to detox from this stuff, you got to reevaluate your criteria for a so-called man. Because it's broken. It ain't working. You're never going to find an authentic diamond ring in a box of Cracker Jacks. Okay, I don't care how many boxes you pull off the shelf. I don't care how many hundreds of thousands, you can spend millions of dollars on Cracker Jacks. You will never find an authentic diamond in a Cracker Jack box. And when we look at some of y'all's criteria for a man, you got a Cracker Jack box criteria. And you keep looking at me like you confused. Well, I ain't got no diamond. Well, I ain't got no diamond. Well, I ain't got no husband. Because you picking from a Cracker Jack box, sweetheart. Sweetheart, your criteria is broken. You got to, in the process of detoxing, you got to reevaluate your criteria for a so-called man. Because you can't be out here, having a criteria that little boys can meet. See, you got, you can get a little boy with 6-pack. Little boy be 6 feet tall. Little boy, in fact, can make 6 figures because you got a whole lot of grown boys. You got that's not those are no metrics to determine that a woman has a man. But you see, you cannot elevate your criteria until your personal perspective and self-definition elevates. See, your criteria stems from your broken consciousness, which makes you think that your value is in your sexuality, because that's what the world says. High value woman is a sexual woman. High value man is a man with money. You put these two people together, you get what you get. No character. And the Bible says this in 2 Timothy 3, 6, and 7. For of this sort, y'all know this is my text here, are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lust. See, all a man got to do is pull his shirt up and show his 6-pack. There, your eyes bucking. Honey, you need deliverance. You need deliverance. led away with divers lusts, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. You keep going through stuff that you don't grow through. You keep taking the class, but you keep flunking the exam. Ever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because women that are led by lust are women of a shallow and broken consciousness, and they consequently have a shallow criteria. Now, number 4, how do we detox from this after this toxic breakup? Be decisive, stop vacillating, make up your mind. I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in. Stop vacillating, I'm done, I'm finished. I mean it, I'm finished. Number 2, parent yourself. Learn to correct yourself, learn to self-correct, learn to talk to yourself sternly. Learn to do that. Number 3, reevaluate your criteria. You may be getting exactly what you're advertising for. You may be getting exactly what you're advertising for, maybe what's showing up at your step when you reevaluate your criteria. You may discover that you never really were in pursuit, or you never really had in mind a husband, or not even a man, in fact. You just wanted a grown, sexy male. Okay, I'll leave that alone. Number 4, list the lessons. As you detox from this toxic relationship, you must list the lessons. There's a lot of stuff. We just got to read in the scripture where he talks about ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. List the lessons. Because when you begin to, like all people who are struggling to break free from toxic situations, when you begin to ruminate over the nostalgia, oh, he used to smell good, he knew how to make love, he knew what to do in my body, and I remember we went to Cancun or we went to Paris and we had such a great time. But the thing you're forgetting is when y'all were in Paris, the police came to the hotel because dude was threatening to put his hands on you. Yeah. She knew what to do to your body and all of this kind of stuff, but she also stole your social security number and brought a homegirl shopping, ruin your credit. And so what you got to do now in the process of detoxing from this kind of drama, you need to list the lessons. All the stuff you went through, I need you to get a legal pad because it's going to be a lot of stuff, and I need you to list the lessons. All the times this person made you feel like you were worthless, you were the scum of the earth, I need you to list that. Every time this person lied to you, I need you to list that. Every time this person made you break ranks with your own values, I need you to list that. The way this person has broken you physically, you don't even look the same no more since you've dealt with this person. I need you to list that. I need you to list the lessons. And when you begin to ruminate over the nostalgia, list the experience you had. And let the experience finally turn into experience. See, there are a lot of folk who are having experiences that are not turning into experience. When it turns into experience, you don't repeat the experience. But if you just keep going through the experience without letting it turn into experience, you'll repeat the experience. Year after year after year after year. But when you begin to list the lessons, the experiences become experience. I hope y'all caught that. See, there's some things a man can't do with a queen conscious woman because she's experienced. She knows better. She's either learned the lessons through harsh experiences like most people do, or she's learned the lessons through safe instruction, but she knows better. That's the whole purpose of Queenology, to provide safe instruction so women don't have to go through the harsh experiences. But you got to list the lessons. Don't just go through it, grow through it. Psalm, the 119th Psalm in verse 71 says, "It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes." It's good for me that I've gone through this. Come on now. I'm not going to sit up here and be depressed because I made a mistake or I gave away some time to a person that never deserved a conversation. It's good for me that I've gone through this because I've learned something through it. Oh, but woe is me if I keep going through it and I never grow through it and I never learn anything from it. Oh, what a sad experience that is. That here I am, 50 years old, going through the same stuff I dealt with at 20 years old. That's 30 years. My God, my God. Babe, if you're gonna detox from this, you got to list the lessons. And see, as you begin to list the lessons and you bring all of that stuff from the subconscious into the conscious realm where you can look at it on paper, man, and then put that somewhere where you got to look at it. Every time your flesh try to talk you back in that direction, go to that list. Oh, no. Do you want some more of this? Oh, no. My wife and I have sat down in restaurants that, I visited previously, but it had been a long time. And my wife said, "Now, you sure you really want to be here?" I said, "I think so. Why you say?" She said, "Because last time you was here, you didn't like X, Y, Z, and da-da-da-da-da." And I said, "Oh, wow, I remember. Let's get up out of here before somebody come to the table. Let's go somewhere else." What was that? That was like, that was like a list. Say, hey, you remember this? You got to list the lessons so you can recall. That when the part of you that is emotional and erratic wants to take over and wants to drive you back into a bondage situation, the list of the lessons comes back. You can recall the lessons and you can remember. Number 5. Now, what have we gone through so far? Number 1, we said you got to be decisive and stop vacillating, make up your mind, you're out. Number 2, you got to parent yourself. You got to learn to talk to yourself and correct yourself. Number 3, we said you got to reevaluate your so-called criteria for a man or for a woman or for a relationship. Number 4, we said you got to list the lessons. What are the lessons you've taken away from the experiences that you've had with this toxic individual? Number 5, only have 7. You got to schedule yourself. When you are detoxing from a toxic relationship, you can't just sit around depressed, pondering, wondering, feeling sorry for yourself. You just can't do that, babe. No. You can't do that. You got to schedule yourself. Don't just sit around, get busy with your life. You see, this toxic situation has taken you out of your life for far too long anyway. And when you are trying to transition out of this toxic situation back into your life, you got to literally get back into your life. Sitting around in your house eating ice cream and stuck with the blinds and the drapes drawn and all of this in the dark, that ain't cutting it. You got to schedule yourself. You have to busy yourself in the business of living. Go to the movies, go to dinner, go by yourself. Don't stop sitting up in that house crying over somebody, again, that should have never gotten a conversation. You got to schedule yourself. Don't just wake up shooting from the hip. Know tonight that tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on my book. I'm going to work on my program. I'm going to work on my lesson. I'm going to dinner. I'm going to a concert. I'm going, even if I got to do it by myself. You got a community of friends, schedule time to go be with your friends, but you got to get back to living. And when you get back to living, you're going to realize how much of the walking dead you were with this individual, how much life you was missing. You got to schedule yourself. One portion of scripture talks about how we should not even say, I can't think of it. If I can remember, I don't know why I didn't jot that scripture down. But it talks about how we have to, basically the principle is, it talks about how we have to honor the fact that God has given us this time, and we have to use our time to the full. Don't assume, don't sit around here wasting time thinking and worrying about somebody that never deserved you. Don't assume you're going to have another year to live your life. To assume that you'll have another year to your life or to live your life is the arrogance of also assuming that God owes this to you. When your life has been eaten up like termites by someone that never deserved you, and now you have another chance to live your life, babe, you got to learn to schedule yourself and get back into the business of living and live life to the full. Now, that's the way you get over a person, is to get back into your own life and learn to enjoy your life by yourself as an individual. Oh, my God. Learn to go to dinner by yourself. Learn to order what you want. Learn to pay for whatever you want. Learn to go on vacation by yourself. Learn to be happy by yourself. And then number six, you got to go deeper spiritually. If you're going to detox from a toxic individual, you have to be more spiritual than you've been. You're going to have to go deeper. Because it will take God's mighty power to heal some wounds. I ain't going to tell you that you're just going to be, footloose and fancy free overnight. I'm not telling you that. But I am saying you got to make up your mind that this is the direction your life has to go in. And then you have to make certain that you open the door of your heart and invite God to come into your life to empower you to do what you can't do on your own. Soul ties are a serious thing. And if you've not gotten my book on soul ties, breaking the ties that bind, if you've not checked out the online program relative to soul ties, you need to go to rcblakes.com and do that. Go to Amazon, pick up the book, the physical book, or the electronic book. In fact, the audio book will be available soon. Serious stuff, but you're going to have God. And you're going to have the power of God. So it means, watch this, you got to go deeper spiritually. You got to stop being so carnal. Nothing wrong with you, you enjoying your life, but your whole life can't just be carnal. Certain aspects of your life got to be spiritual, where you invite God in for real. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm really not. I'm not talking, and I'm a pastor and I'm a bishop, but I ain't talking about no religion. I'm talking about a genuine, personal, authentic connection to God for yourself. When you get that, you'll then be able to find a church that meets your needs and all of that. But I'm talking about something far greater than a church or religion. I'm talking about your personal relationship with God. If you want to detox from this toxic situation, you are going to have to open the door of your heart and ask God to come in and to give you his power to overcome this situation that you've gotten yourself in. You're going to have to recognize that God didn't give you this. This is something you created. This is something you forced. So now you need the power of God to help you to rise above this situation. And you know what? God will come into your heart and God will empower you to overcome this situation. Yes, he will. Psalms 34, 18 and 19 says this: the Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. The Lord is close to those that are of a broken heart. So it means that while you're sitting there with tears in your eyes, it's been hard for you to even listen to this, God is close to you. Save such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. You can be the best person in the world. Somehow, some kind of way, the world finds a way to break you. You're not by yourself. Stop calling yourself stupid and dumb. You're not stupid and dumb. You're human. You have a good heart. And you expect that people are going to love you the way you love them. That people are what they appear to be. It's not the case. It's the wrong world. But the beauty is God is close to you. And God can deliver or save you from this pit. And then number 7, and finally, for today at least, if you're going to detox after this toxic breakup, number 7, you're going to have to develop a personal set of mantras or professions to rebuild your self-esteem. A mantra is just something that we say all the time that redirects the mind to a positive, empowering place. Like I say all the time, we say all the time, you're on top, you're going higher. God has more in store for you. Well, that's a mantra. See you at the top. That's a mantra. Mantras are a way of meditating for empowerment. We renew the mind with mantras. What is it? Romans 8:28? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, a part of renewing the mind are mantras. It's to be able to have certain words that you speak that shift the consciousness from a low place to a high place, from low level to high level, function, energy, whatever you want to call it. Well, in the process of coming out of this toxic situation, you're going to have to find your own set of mantras that you speak over your life. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm the marvelous works of God. I am beautiful. I am capable. I am self-sufficient in God. I am wife. I am a husband. All of the things that this toxic individual extracted from you, you got to learn to pour that stuff back in, supplement. your soul with mantras that speak the things that your soul is lacking because of that toxic connection. You got to learn to preach to yourself. You got to learn to preach to yourself. You got to learn to speak over your life. You got to learn to reject any negativity, anything that does not sit well in your spirit. You got to learn to reject, and you have to learn how to speak life into your life, because now your self-esteem has to be rebuilt, because toxic relationships drain us of our esteem. This is why Philippians 4:8-9 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me do, and the God of peace shall be with you." You got to learn to govern the direction of your language pertaining to you. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You have to learn to speak life. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. You have to learn how to speak life over you, and your soul is going to be rebuilt, and you're going to take ownership of your self-esteem. And everything that devil thought he was going to take out of you and rob you of, you will replenish, you will supplement by the words of your own mouth. Glory to God. And so these are just some of my thoughts relative to detoxing after toxic breakup. These are some of the things that you will have to do. We may have a part 2 to this. There's a lot that I could have said that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Now, hopefully, this has reached you in a powerful way. My prayer for you is that the Spirit of God will just keep you, will give you wisdom, will give you hope, and make you understand that it doesn't end this way. Your condition is not your conclusion. It's not going to end this way. There's an amazing, brilliant future ahead of you. I just need you to see it. It won't always be like this, but it starts with making a decision. Now, hey, don't forget to go by rcblakes.com, sign up for the mailing list, check out the online programs, all of that. While you're there, if you're interested in going to Egypt with us before we shut that down, the numbers are growing. I thank God for all of you that are coming with Lisa and I to Egypt next year. The numbers are growing, and there's only a certain number that we're going to bring, because I'm very relational and personal. So I can't have astronomical numbers. Astronomical? Y'all know I struggle with my English on here. I can't have these astronomical numbers that I can't really realistically be able to engage. And so we're moving in the direction of our final number. And if you want to go to Egypt with us, check it out at the website. Make your deposit. Let's roll to Egypt in June of 2024. Hey, if you need counseling of any kind, Lisa and I are not counselors, and I'm no mental health professional. I say that quite a lot. But we have a relationship with BetterHelp Counseling. And there's a link for BetterHelp Counseling in the description. If you utilize that link, it will afford you 10% off of the cost of BetterHelp's counseling. And in turn, BetterHelp will make a deposit into R.C. Blake's Ministries because I referred them to you. Don't forget to go and check out all of my books on Amazon. Physical books, electronic books, audio books are all there on Amazon. I think I've said everything I need to say. I just want to say I love you all. I thank God for you. You are on top. I need you to like this video. Won't y'all help me? Please help me. Please. I need y'all to like the video and make certain that you help this video to go farther. when you like it and you comment and all of that, it helps the algorithm to pick up what we're putting down. But you're on top, you're going higher. God has more in store for you. So we will see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.